Fabulous. We have a leader, says Ron Corey. It was an amazing speech. His best ever, writes Jamie Hart. Good morning, Sunrise Report. Here in Fort Smith, Arkansas, Fort Smith Park. I'm Adam Taxin. The sun rose about 23 minutes ago. And today it's all about President Trump's rather masterful address to Congress last night. Quickly, some of the headlines beyond the content of the speech, courtesy of Jim Hoft at Gateway Pundit. 5-minute ovation for Trump, but pouty Democrats sit on their butts. Trump recognizes widow of Navy SEAL Ryan Owens, receives extensive standing ovation. Bitter Nancy Pelosi refuses to stand and applaud American job creation. Former Kentucky governor warns Americans about Russia in Democrat response to Trump. That's Steve Beshear is his name, and I like the hashtag for that. Not that anyone used it. Hashtag keeping it real. Another headline from the Gateway Pundit. Trump acknowledges American veterans, says it's time to deliver for them. Liberal thugs attack Navy SEAL widow at congressional address. By the way, Jim, the Gateway Pundit, that's a little bit of a stretch. I mean, it's two people no one's heard of saying things on Twitter like, sorry, Owens' wife, you're not helping yourself or your husband's memory by standing there and clapping like an idiot. Trump used you. And someone else named Matt Binder who said, Trump got a Navy SEAL killed because he was told Obama was too, the P word, you know, the kind of hat that so clever liberal ladies wore a month and a half ago at their march for women's rights and Sharia. But Obama was too the P word to approve of the mission and then used his widow to swoon the press. So that's the thugs attacking. But anyhow, here's another headline. I'll talk about this more later. CNN's Van Jones. He became president of the United States in that moment. A little longer now, David Goldman, whom I know and who writes for PJ Media and who also writes for the Asia Times. Here was his analysis most of the way through the speech, I think. He wrote, excellent speech so far. Firm but measured. The emphasis on free but fair trade is exactly right. Insists that American exporters are treated the same way that other countries' exporters are treated here. The Canadian and Australian merit-based system is the right model for immigration. Trump cannot be faulted for adopting a precedent from other countries. The approach to healthcare is both cautious and magnanimous. Contrasting the trillions wasted on overseas adventures with the neglect of infrastructure in inner cities is on target. Bringing discouraged workers back into the labor force is the right way to look at the problem. An A+ debut. And he was a cruise guy for a long time, David Goldman. Reed Stein, whom I have a lot of respect for his opinion, a guy in Dallas. Not a professional writer, though. He's in business. I thought the speech was a grand slam. Trump was presidential and at the top of his game. When he takes his America First agenda straight to the American people, the lying corporate globalist press cannot stop him. It is about time that someone stood up for the forgotten American citizens who have been harmed by open borders. Trump did just that. And the Democrats, they will regret their behavior. The Republicans should cut 2018 campaign ads of the Democrats refusing to clap for items that have 90% approval with the American people. I couldn't be more thrilled with President Trump's speech. He adds, I wish I hadn't used the term presidential because he's always presidential. Thank goodness Trump won. He is the one chance to save the United States. Now, some quick reactions on Facebook. These were either people's own posts or comments they posted to what I had posted or what other people had posted. From Jerry Schwartzreich of Marietta, Georgia. I thought it was a softer tone, but more presidential. He honored the right people. Nancy Pelosi had such a bad attitude, it was comical. From Lonnie Johnson in Mississippi. He responded this to the David Goldman quote that I had posted. The respect for the widow and her late husband had me crying. Thank you and God bless you, Mr. President. That's honor. Devotion, and shows you are truly the man God needed to lead the American people out of the hands of devastation. From Rabbi Joseph Isaac Korf of Hollywood, Florida. Where are all my Trump haters? Especially my Jewish friends who decried his lack of condemnation against the anti-Semites, or his lack of racial empathy, or his inability to deal with the problems in the inner cities. I haven't heard from any of them. Silence. Interesting. From William Irwin in Kentucky. I don't know. It was engaging viewing tonight. It does sound obvious that he's going to plow ahead and get things done, one way or the other. I just hope the fact checkers fact checkers don't try to debunk all of what he's done tonight, either in full or part. We should all unite with him and not against him. From Ora Kesselman. Good morning in Israel. I just heard President Trump. What a great speech full of common sense and clarity. No flowery and meaningless words like Obama. What a clear vision he has to make America great and safe again. It was refreshing to hear a president who expresses much love and respect to the fallen soldiers and his citizens. He loves America and is very proud of his country, not like Obama and his wife. I believe him. He has already followed his words with action. His positive impact is for all to see. Shortly after the speech, I hear Democrats reciting their foolish talking points to dismiss the president's great speech. They definitely do not put the people first, but politics. Who is in the right mind who refuses to give this president a chance to make America and the world better? And for people who were hoping that he would become unifying, hoping that he might find some way to become presidential, they should be happy with that moment. For people who have been hoping that maybe he would remain a divisive cartoon, which he often finds a way to do, they should begin to become a little more worried tonight. Because that thing you just saw him do, if he finds a way to do that over and over again, he's going to be there for 8 years. From Susan Swift, who I think is with Politic Chicks, and she's from Glendale, California, a quick comment about the former Kentucky governor who they put in a diner to give the response. She wrote, "Where did the Democrats dig up that old fossil to give the response?" To which Roy Krieger of Tyler, Texas responds, "Libs are still having a difficult time trying to connect to the forgotten ones of their party. They are holding so tight to the far left at the cost of their party. Vilifying the Republicans will not keep the Democrats unified. It's not about the party any longer with the deplorables. Both parties are going to struggle with this new reality." And finally, a quote, not from a Facebook friend, but from someone who had a quote that a lot of people are talking about. It's from Van Jones, who is pretty much a communist, and for that reason had to remove himself from the Obama administration, but does play the nice guy thing. Maybe he is a nice guy, just a communist. He's not, a stern-faced old Leonid Brezhnev type, but he was on CNN and he raved about the speech, and people are talking about this. So I'm just going to tell you what Van Jones said. Van Jones said, he, meaning Trump, became president of the United States in that moment. Period. There are a lot of people who have a lot of reason to be frustrated with him, to be fearful of him. But that was one of the most extraordinary moments you've ever seen in American politics. Period. And he did something extraordinary. And for people who were hoping that he would become unifying, hoping that he might find some way to become presidential, they should be happy with that moment. For people who have been hoping that maybe he would remain a divisive cartoon, which he often finds a way to do, they should begin to become a little bit worried tonight. Because that thing you saw him do, if he finds a way to do that over and over again, he's going to be there for 8 years. Now, I have one more point to make, but I'm going to take this off the tripod, and I am going to give you a better view of this beautiful here by the Arkansas River. With the cameras, I can do so much. The technology has made it just incredible. I basically have my own studio, but it's not perfect, and for that reason, it focuses a little bit too much on me and not the sun necessarily, so it can only do so much automatically, though it's pretty incredible just how far we've come in 6 years. And there you have the Arkansas River here in Fort Smith Park. Now, one more point I want to make is that be a little careful. Trump hasn't won yet. We haven't won yet. Democrats do have the tactic, in my opinion, of being very praising when there's nothing really at stake. Remember Bush after 9/11, how glowing they were, the hugs between Democrats and President George W. Bush at his State of the Union after 9/11, or maybe it was a speech after 9/11. Just keep in mind, nothing's at stake at this very moment, so it's nice for, they can seem magnanimous, etc. And, when election time starts coming around, they can change it, and it's almost like they have more credibility by doing it that way. All right. Adam Taxin here. Can I get a good sun shot? No, apparently not, but the sun is definitely there. Well, saying goodbye. I'll be with you probably in the Kansas City area, maybe a little west of there, with some sort of midday report. Thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate your comments, especially what I can do better, and just discussing the issues I've brought up, and whatever else you want. Thanks for watching.